What do you mean I'm hosting Bob Ross? Get out of here. Get out. I am hosting myself. What do you do? I haven't watched these videos in decades. I'm live. I'm live. C++. C++ Saturdays. My legs are still stiff. I've done some stretching. Probably not enough stretching. My legs are still stiff. And we return to the barren hellscape that is C++ coding. Because there is no better language thus far for the scripting of intense, memory-dependent, graphical programming. I'm probably changing shit now. I'm just gonna stop. I'm just gonna stop the intro. We have no intro. Whoa, dog! Hold on. The dog is screaming. Give me a sec. It's okay. It's nothing. It's actually nothing. Just a massive excuse for me to leave the C++ stream because, you know, you know what I'm saying? Just get that out of my way for a moment. Everything looks pretty good. Looks like we dropped a couple of frames on the network. I've got an orange dot. Well, this might be a shorter stream than I anticipated, so we're going to try and rush through it real fast. C-style character strings. That's what we're doing. C++ Primer 5th edition 3.5.4 C-style character string. Last week we did arrays, and as we know, character strings in C are arrays. That's it. Oh yeah, we went crazy doing this, didn't we? Is it gonna give me a? Oh, it didn't do it. Finally. I guess if you delete the second one so many times, it'll just stop. Oops. There we go. That is the arrays section commented out. Can I put a tab in? Thank you. Should probably delete that. That's yeah. No, I don't want to edit the text. I want to delete the space between them. So I got my my coffee here. Welcome to the Mouth Noise stream. Get that out of the way. And we do have an orange light on the network adapter, but I don't think it's going to make that much difference. Even if I am quote unquote streaming at 7 megabit. Sorry, everyone who wanted to watch my streams but can't buffer it because Twitch will not restream it at different bit rates for you. Rip. It's basically one screen, so it doesn't actually update that much. So the quality shouldn't be great, even if we drop a couple of frames. The only thing, you might hear some audio skips. And of course the VOD will be pristine on YouTube. Thanks to local recordings. Character string literals, instance, more general construct, C++, inherits from C-style character string. Okay. C-style strings are not a type, instead they are a convention for how to represent and use character strings. Good. Storing character arrays, null terminated. By null terminated, we mean the last character in a string is a null terminator. \0. It's the null boy. Null. Oh, we got to add a new header, C string. Oh, include string. Damn. Oops. My question is this already built in? Because I didn't download it. Sharp include C string. It didn't flip out. It did not flip out. So my guess is that it is included. Good. Let's get the book. Whoa. Epic slabs. Let's get the book back into view here. Pointer past these routines must point to an all terminated arrays. So what we've got Sterlen, P, Sterlen, Sturkump, Sturcat. Ooh, Sturcat. And Sturcopy. Appends P2 to P1. How does that work? Huh? How would you do what? So wait. What? You can't do that. Unless it means it replaces. Interesting. My So they have to be alright, okay. So Sterlen does not return the null, okay. So it's got some Okay, so when working with C-style character strings, be sure to null terminate them, otherwise nothing will work. Good. So the variable string is a pointer to a character array. That's how you do it. Good. I wonder what's on that's causing all the noise. Because I figured out the vacuum cleaner. Damn, big source of network interruption. It takes about 5 seconds to kick in, and then I don't know, there's some ripple or something from the motor going back into the power, which disrupts the power line. What do you call it? The way they talk to each other, you know, superimposition of a wave over another wave, the carrier signal. The carrier signal is just the 60 hertz cycle of power line. Never mind. Let's focus on the real task at hand, the C. Yeah, okay. Oh, get out of here. I want you on my screen. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, right, okay. So, as I expected, the concatenation of a C-style character array is dangerous and stupid. And it requires the correct calculation of the size of the container array for the characters, including the last null terminator, but no null terminators within. So you don't have to have a null terminator for every string that you concatenate. That would be ridiculous, because your string would end at that null terminator. And I'm guessing stircat does some legwork on that. I can only assume it does. Doesn't have any null terminators written down here. Here we go. We're down to the exercises already. 12 minutes into the video, we might get into a second section. Jesus. What does the following program do? Const char ca square brackets equals hello. Const char cp star cp equals ca. Okay. Well, cp ca star cp handle plus cp. So this initializes a character array with the letters HELL and O, and then it initializes a pointer to that array, to the first member of the array, and then while that pointer is still valid, it iterates over the array and it prints out each letter of the array on a new line. There you go, easy peasy. Exercise 338, section we noted that was not only illegal but meaningless to try and add 2 pointers. Why would adding 2 pointers be meaningless? Pointers are the address of memory, so if you add them together, you get a different address, / a number bigger than a memory address could be. They're not They're not ints and they're not values. They're objects. They're that point. Just don't work. Write a program to compare two strings. Now write a program to compare the values of two C-style character strings. Oh, right. Okay. Well, I mean, okay. Wait. We've got our array checker right here. So I don't think we need to do that again. But we can do the C one because it's a lot easier. It's just you have your string, one, and you have your string 2, and then you just use stack. Aha! Is that a no-go? I'm doing it wrong already. I've shot myself in the foot here. I don't know what gun show is. And that should be Aus, not Alf. There you go. That's about my level of German. What is it? Still CMP. Okay. Alright. Actually, can we do that? Looks like we can. I don't want to concatenate, I want to copy them. They're not even the same length. Okay. Okay. So fingers crossed this should work and not break. That's not exactly what I was expecting, but I mean, it shows a clear difference that we have a -1 and a 0. I was expecting them to be maybe the other way around. What with stircomp maybe returning a true, and oh no, it doesn't do that, does it? It's like a relative. It's a relative scalar on how different they are, right? So you compare Welcome to the Gun Show to Willkommen Oster on Poop. Is that Willkommen? It's definitely much longer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 24. Oh, 26. Okay. So it doesn't do that, but I think what it does is C, D, E, F, G, H. No, it doesn't do that either. Okay. It's definitely given us a different result for each one, so that means it's working. But I actually maybe didn't see stir comp explained. Oh no, here it is. Big slams. To compare the strings, when using an array, okay, using the first parameter, two const char star values. These pointers do not address the same object, so the comparison is undefined. Yeah. Compare the strings rather than the point values you call stir comp. The function returns 0 if the strings are equal, or a positive or negative value depending on whether the first string is larger or smaller than the second. Alright, okay, yeah, it works perfectly fine. You see, I've completed the task. It returns a negative value because the first one is smaller than Willkommen aus der Umpup. But it returns 0 because welcome to the gun show is the same as welcome to the gun show. Yeah, there you go. Boom. Oosh. Oh, yeah. Like, I thought I was doing it right. Big slam. Write a program to define two character arrays initialized from string literals. Now define a third character array to hold the concatenation of the two arrays. You stir copy and stir cats copy the two arrays. Woo. Actually, do you know what? No, you can't. There was something about initializing character arrays using constants, wasn't there? So S4 equals blah blah blah. Epic slams. Oh. Very good. Char S5 equals blue. Yeah, okay. Okay. So Sterling returns the length of the string without the null terminator. Let's put a space in that. So what we need to do is int what's is equal to Sterling S4 plus Sterling S5 plus 1. Char S6 but throw me an error. gonna throw me a different error now. Think about it. Don't think about it. What's the error? Yeah. Yeah. See usage of buts. How do I get out of the error page? Warning page? Error page? No. I guess that's what all we want, right? So what's the point? What is the point? Let's just get rid of that. We can calculate this the string length. 16, 15, add 1, it's 32. So you can use an int literal, and you can use a constant int variable. That is the weirdest set of words I just said. Constant int variable. Constant variable, lads. Cool. This is why no one likes C+. C+, just 1 plus. So what I wanted to do is get the size of the first one, get the size of the second one, add 1 to it, and use that number for the new thing, but it wouldn't let me. And I remember there was some way of forcing a constant expression out of a thing. There was, because the interpreter is going to throw a hissy fit if it sees that, because it doesn't autocomplete something. It doesn't look forward. It doesn't look forward in the code to see if things change or not. Obviously, this is not a dynamic thing, because we're dealing with arrays, and arrays are not dynamic. Cannot grow an array at all. Cannot make an array bigger. Which is why array concatenation is stupid. You shouldn't do it. But here we are. Stir copy. So it copies into the first one the second one. Okay, so S6, S4, and then stir cat S6, S5. Nice how that just goes in there like that. I seem to remember a couple of weeks ago we had trouble printing out strings and numbers from variable. Oh, there were build errors. No. What do you mean there were build errors? What do you mean there were errors? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Stircat, this functional variable may be unsafe. Consider using stircat s instead. To disable deprecation, use CRT secure no warnings. It's telling us that the functions that we're using are stupid and we shouldn't use them. Does that work? That works fine. So today we learned that strcat, strcpy are deprecated functions of C that have very little limited scope use in C++ because they are buffer overflow, memory leak territory. And one of the things about modern programming languages, quote unquote modern, because people still use C, C++ for very specific applications. C++ is used a lot in graphics because it can do the low-level memory stuff, which is very unwieldy to do in other languages. And C is used in extremely low memory situations, like what do you call them? Controllers, switches, where you have EPROMs basically, and you have such limited memory space that you have to allocate specifically the memory that you need for any application. Which is why a lot of this stuff that comes from C, which is maybe a little bit lower level than even a C++ programmer would want to work with, have been replaced with updated versions for C++, as we can see here. strcpy_s and strcat_s. Who knows what they are? Who knows what they do? Here we go. ONO, T, CDCL, strcpy_s32u, char, and destination 32 const char. Star source. And to overload. Okay. Doesn't really tell me anything. I don't understand that. That's French to me, buddy. And I learned French for 5 years at school. I mean, that's German to me, buddy. And I have done literally no German. Interfacing all the code. Many C++ programs standard library do not use string vector types. Okay. Oh, predate the standard library and don't use string or vector. Okay. Moreover, many C++ programs interface to programs written in C, where the languages can't use the C++ library. This program written in modern C++ may have to interface to code that uses arrays and a C-style character string. I don't get it. Arrays are way better than vectors. Fuck you. I mean, they're easier to iterate over, and you can actually iterate over a vector in the same way as an array. I get the iterators. I get that they're a handy dandy tool to do the thing, but I find them a little bit more confusing. And I say that with a little bit of shame. Here we go. We saw we can initialize a string from string literal string s. Hello world. S holds hello world. Good, yeah. We can use a null terminated character array anywhere that we can use a string literal. You can use a null character terminated array to initialize or assign a string. You can use a null terminated character array as one operand, but not both operands to the string addition operator, or as the right hand operand in the string compound assignment operator. Wow! Okay. Where's my page gone? Oh, I've just got a white screen. Oh, it closed. Must have crashed. That's weird. It's the first time I've seen that. I hope I haven't scrolled somewhere. Yep. Wow, it took up my bookmark as well. Whew. Cool. Reverse functionality is not provided. There is no direct way to use library string when a C-style string is required. Okay. For example, there's no way to initialize a character pointer from a string. There is, however, a string member function named cstr can be used to accomplish what we want. Char star stir equals is. Cannot initialize a char star from a string. Okay. Const char star stir equals s dot c stir. Oh, right, okay. So that's a C stir brackets is a function to change a C string into a char star, into a constant char star, sorry. Okay. Alright, okay. That's helpful. Let's put that in a little Sorry, that's... I think that's good enough documentation for me. So when you want to initialize a char star from a C string, you got to use the C_steer dot operator, which is cool. That's cool. I like that. Array returned by C star is not guaranteed to be valid indefinitely. Any subsequent use of S might change the value of S, can invalidate this array. But I mean, that's not what you'd use it for, right? You'd only read the final value of the C string name, and then you would use your string name, your const char star string name in your program, and then you'd return, or you wouldn't even return. You wouldn't even go back. Who knows? Using an array to initialize a vector. Okay. We noted that we cannot initialize a built-in array from another array, nor can we initialize an array from a vector. However, we can use an array to initialize a vector. Okay. To do this, specify the address of the first element, one past last element we wish to copy. Alright. That's cool. So you just specify the beginning and the end of the array, and then you just vector int and then name of the vector, and then brackets, and then begin and end. 2 pointers used to construct a vec mark the range values used to initialize the blah blah blah. Good slam. As well, IVec will have 6 elements. Blah blah blah. Ah, an array will have a null termy boy? No? No, I've gone too far. Never mind. Ignore me. Advice, use library types instead of arrays. Okay. Pointers and arrays are surprisingly error prone. Part of the problem is conceptual. Pointers are used for low-level manipulations. It's easy to make bookkeeping mistakes. Yeah. Other problems arise because of the syntax, particularly declaration syntax used with pointers. Okay. Modern C++ programs use vectors and iterators instead of built-in arrays and pointers. Use strings rather than C-style array-based character strings. Okay. Multi-dimensional arrays. I need blazing focus for this, and I think I've actually run out of time. So, little bit of a short cleanup section there with some interesting tools. I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna write that one for converting vectors from arrays. A vector. Name, begin, there we go. That copies a vector from a vector a vector type, vector name from an array of array name. Easy peasy. So I think we've actually done some work, and that's nice. As I say, I started out learning computer science from C, because I joined a program called CS50X, and that is based almost entirely in C, not C++. So things like arrays are a little bit easier for me to understand because I've already done them. Things like vectors are cool, and I've done them before because I've breezed through the solo learn C++ course, quote unquote course. It's basically just a quiz that you can do until you get it right, which I think there's some. Well, you can't just do it until you get it right. It kicks you off the thing if you get it wrong. It's like, well, maybe you should go back and learn. So it's not that bad, but anyway. My OBS uptime clock is broken. I've dropped some frames. That's why. I see. So I guess that's time for me. That is a signal for me to go. So thank you very much for watching the live video. If you can watch the live video, thank you very much for watching the video on demand. If you can watch the video on demand, and as always, I will see you in the next episode.